Are you ready for this? July 14, 2019 by Anna von Reitz. The latest news and research from Kurt Kallenbach has me stunned, and I have seen, investigated, and thought about a lot of arcane stuff in my life, including ancient religions and mathematics. I know a lot of weird stuff. And even I am stunned. He has, I believe, discovered and documented the ultimate fraud which the modern-day acolytes of the Babylonian slave system have used to excuse their abuse of mankind. Kurt, as many of you will remember, is, like me, from the Midwest, where he pioneered his research. His search took him back to St. Thomas Aquinas and the Summa Theologica and to medieval superstitions about the nature of the afterbirth material that follows each one of us into this world. It also led to the development of his Paramount Claim. The Paramount Claim establishes a claim upon our life and DNA and unique identity back to the embryonic zygote, the fertilized egg that gave rise to our physical body. Now, following the track down the same rabbit hole, but going even deeper and wider ranging, he has discovered FDR's mysterious holy cause, which was mentioned in Franklin Delano Roosevelt's first inauguration speech, the true meaning of the World Cross used as an emblem by the Templars, the Knights of Malta, and the Swiss Red Cross, and also the meaning and function of the Federal Reserve. All of this is beyond stunning, hidden in plain sight, and requires us all to think about things that most people literally never think about and history that we are never taught. So get ready and begin to shift your gears. The first topic you will need to think about is the nature of time. Time does not exist. Time is another handy fraud, a legal fiction, that allows us to keep track of when something happened relative to when something else happened, by counting days and months and years. This counting system is arbitrary and was originally developed by the ancient builders to expedite the practice of usury and collection of debts based on usury. Calendars were developed as a means of telling when debts were accrued and scheduling out their repayment. Not surprisingly, many such calendars have been developed over the millennia, and the calendars used in the Western world the last couple thousand years, the Julian and Gregorian calendars, are only two examples of calendars developed for usury, shipping schedules, and other purposes. At the Vatican Observatory and on the grounds of Vatican City you still see the keyholes and ley line markers that were used to establish these calendar systems. You can also observe, as Russell J. Gould did, that the keyholes upon which these calendars are based no longer line up. The precession of the constellations has moved on, and the basis of the calendar systems has shifted until everything is out of alignment and invalidated. This led to Russell J. Gould's observation and formal declaration that this is all bogus and that the only time that actually exists is the eternal moment we call now. This is not a new or unique observation. Australian Aboriginals have maintained the same knowledge and viewpoint for endless generations, as have many other indigenous people worldwide. So, not only is time unreal, an arbitrary mental construct imposed like a grid overlaying a map of the physical world, the entire basis used to establish the grid and calculate a time is mutable, too. This is confirmed by advanced physics and mathematics, too, but the consequences of this realization that time does not exist is so threatening to the established world powers that it has been suppressed, and the careers of many brilliant men and women have been torpedoed simply because they realized that the entire concept of time is intrinsically fraudulent and arbitrary. As handy as time is as a device, it is still a device, and time is an arbitrary, changeable device, too, altered by one's assumptions and starting points. The search to develop an accurate, defensible, true standard of time measurement has been sought for centuries and has led to such developments as the so-called atomic clock and UCT and UMT standards, but we are still attempting to measure something that does not exist. Try to wrap your mind around how crazy that really is. We are refining ways to measure something that literally does not exist. This is all going to come as a great shock to many people. We have been encouraged to think of time as something that is actual and factual, dependable, you can set your watch by it. But it's not. Understanding this is similar to knowing that your name is not you. Time is a fictional device in the same way that your name is a fictional device. Both of these devices are legal fictions that are imposed upon us or voluntarily adopted to make it easier to accomplish tasks. Not only is a time standard necessary to keep track of interest payments, it is necessary to track shipments of goods, schedule work crews, figure out payrolls, and calculate taxes. And still, at the end of the day, we are dealing with illusions, with things that don't exist. When a paymaster calls out a name like John Michael Doe and pays him for working 40 hours, we all think we know what is going on, but in fact, what we are witnessing is a magic show, an illusion that results in delusion. Most people equate the name used to identify a man with the man himself, even though we also know that there may be more than one guy named Joel Carl Black, or even two or more fellows bearing the name Raymond Fitzgerald Peabody. Most people also accept time as being something real. And this gives rise to still more delusional concepts. That same paymaster is paying John Michael Doe for fictional hours using fictional money. And if the paymaster is a banker, he has cause to know just how arbitrary and fictional all of this is, because he is manufacturing all this money that he is paying John for hours worked as a commodity, simply by entering keystrokes on a computer ledger. So what kind of commodity is this money? A fictional one. So we have in fact a fictional man, an arbitrary name, being paid for an amount of a fictional commodity, time, in exchange for another fictional commodity, fiat money. It is in truth and in fact an entire system, a kingdom, built on fiction, that is, on lies and delusions. And who is the father of all lies? How is this kingdom of a wannabe god, literally a false god, to be converted to the kingdom of our Creator? Stop for a moment and take in the view: your name is a fiction, time is a fiction, and the money in your pocket is a fiction, too. Was there ever a place on earth where this was not the case? Yes. Do you know where it was? Do you know how to get back there?